Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. Today, we're going to be crafting a Santa Claus sled with bears. Bears, if you didn't know, are a creature, a mammal. These are polar bears, which means they usually live in colder environments, usually in the north. And bears are usually considered to be much more friendly and docile than they actually are. In fact, if you didn't know, bears are in fact large creatures that eat meat, which means if you encounter a bear, you probably don't want to go up to it. What?
That's right, folks. We talked about this in the announcement show. You could easily use reindeer if you want, or dogs, or cats, or birds.
You're really a fan of that, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm really a fan of that.
No, I'm not talking to you.
And these are actually Reaper miniature bones.
Because he's a cheater who, instead of actually finding the object in the store, he just buys it. Because the entire point of a craft is to buy every item at the highest possible price you can find, so that you can make an item that already exists at a price that is usually possibly more expensive than what it actually would cost, because he was too busy to find an actual bear the size that we are looking for. So instead, he just bought them.
Actually, folks, I did scour eBay, Amazon, and a couple other places looking for bears, and I just didn't have any luck. They were either too big, too small, or like the ones we showed in the announcement show, they looked like three-toed sloths, and I just didn't want to go that route. This one actually was, they're all bones, but this one actually had a rider, and so I chopped that off, so maybe that counts. And while I go over some of the aspects, our Santa Claus here is actually a dwarf miniature, also a bones, who we've given a...
I thought we hated those bones black, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't actually. It was
Okay, then you are a hypocrite.
I couldn't find it in black.
No, not in this situation. Not with that. That's fine. We're also gonna find a... Never mind.
He didn't have a Santa hat, and I just sculpted one out of milliput. And, he's kind of got that Santa vibe going. So while I show you the details of the sled itself, the little guy's going to finish painting this, probably starting with black or washes. You want to go with the black? Yeah, there's more black. But so far he's turned out pretty good. Little guy's done a really nice job on it.
Once.
Yeah, then we dropped him and the hat fell off because I didn't glue the milliput. So tip, folks.
You did.
So next time, folks, glue your milliput hats on. So there's Santa.
Yes, it's just milliput.
So we're going to start with a foam core base, double thick. Shape it however you want.
What hammer were you talking about?
Right there, that's a hammer right there. Wait, it's a mallet. Yeah, it's not his feet.
No, I thought you meant just like a...
Check this out. If you look in there, his foot is he's like kind of leaning, and his other foot's at an angle. You see that? He's kind of got like a weird pose. He's all kicked back, kind of drunk, I guess, a little bit too much eggnog. But we're going to start with a foam core base. And then I've got a couple of Dungeons and Lasers pieces that we're going to load up on the sled. The sled's just made out of cocktail stir sticks left over from a couple of the other projects from this month. And I just started working on the base. It's 4 wide, a couple to hold it together. The actual skis or sled part, that slide through the snow is going to more or less be covered with snow effects back here. Now the bears, I don't know if you can focus in on this, but I took these pieces here. I don't know if you can see that. It's just a little bent piece of jewelry wire, and I drilled those into the back of the bear, and then attached a ring. I don't know if you can see all that. And then I looped 2 pieces of chain for the reins, and then those reins are going to go and attach to each bear, who also has a loop, but I haven't put these rings in, and that's something I'm going to do right now, is hook these up so that the chain will go through it. I'll do one real quick so you get the idea. kind of difficult now that they're already in there, but let's try it this way. It's really difficult, folks. Get a grip on it the way that I put them in there. That'll work. Show you guys real quick here. Then I'll go on to the and you don't have to mount this to the foam board, but I'm going to, just because I don't really see any time I'll use these for anything but this. Let's see if I can hold that like that, get the chain in there.
Is this the gold you used?
Yes.
Oh. I kind of forgot you were using chains.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
You should. Obviously, that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, what else are you going to use?
Well, like we said in the announcement video, you could use, string or twine or...
Well, I didn't necessarily mean it in that way. I meant more like you have to use a material that is loose.
Yeah.
Because...
I'll do one more.
I mean, unless you're able to sculpt them, then you're not actually going to... I mean, we clearly can't.
Yeah, I don't want to ever try to sculpt chain unless I absolutely have to. That's
Oh no, I that's anyone who's able to do that is.
epic.
I didn't want to necessarily say it that way, but
Yeah, if you can if
you
you
put
can
in other
sculpt,
words, then definitely yes.
if you can sculpt some of the chains that I've seen on so many miniatures, like I'm doing that Lord of Riots, he's got chains all over him, and I was thinking the same thing. How'd you do that, buddy? That's just, and he's got them like all over.
Is that it for gold?
I believe so.
You can do touch of black again.
And you've got a water cup there for you. Now, I'm actually going to be using this piece right here I'm going to hook. I should probably do that now. Well, it's easier. I've got one of these bars that's still got both loops. And I'll loop that through there.
Is there any is there any what? Is there any color I would? I don't think there's any. You have flesh wash here, but no actual
Flesh. Yeah, I was just
You
going to
don't
use
have
the
any-
wash, just because.
Would that work?
Yeah, it should.
I don't know. How
If you want to
those
go
look.
grab some, but get a lot.
I'll test it, and if it doesn't work, then I'll put it.
Because his face is so detailed, I didn't want to mess any of it up with actual paint. And I
Okay.
want to just dry brush over his paint, his
But-
face. And definitely, kind of, we're going to make his nose
I
kind of
think it
rosy.
looks too bone-like.
Really?
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, well, just
I
go
think that looks too
go
much
grab
like a
some
bone.
flesh, color of your choice. Probably a very light color, nothing tan, because he probably doesn't hang out at the beach much. Maybe he does. That's what he's doing on those 364 days of the year.
I'm just gonna.
Okay. Now this part, I'm going to put we've got, as most sleds have, this sort of curved shield at the front of it. I'm going to put that there, and then we'll mount this right here so that the reins can go through, but I'm going to need to bend it a little because it's a little bit too long and I don't want that. So let's try. Just got this little weird bead in the middle. It keeps messing with me. Let's just measure it. I'm going to be doing a lot of measuring here. Let's go with centimeters because.
All right.
I had it almost right up spot on.
I'm just going to wash these off.
I didn't give you a water cup.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's right there. That is.
Oh, did not notice. And by did not notice, I mean I don't know actually. I know you did, or I knew you did.
Let's see how that looks.
I mean, actually, I haven't. Look, I'm still some left on. I feel like I should spread this out a bit more. I've noticed that if you spread the paint out, that you probably, or you might not get as much on the brush, or you'll still get some on the brush, but it won't go that deep into the brush.
Right.
Which, I mean, it seems obvious, but I never really cared to do it until recently.
Yeah.
I mean, I never like when it gets off the.
When it gets too thick on the brush, yeah. Another thing I saw, Vince Ventronella, I think that's how you pronounce your name, bud. He always actually he dips the paint in the brush in the paint and then wipes it off. Kind of like a one sort of dry brush wipe, just to knock off all that extra paint, which I suppose is okay, but I'd rather just get it right the first time instead of, wasting what you might have. I mean, obviously it keeps you from getting too much paint on the brush, but,
Oh, you think I wasted the paint, or?
Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to glue this on here.
Also, if you couldn't tell,
It's raining.
hail.
Yeah, well, we're probably gonna get some snow tonight,
I doubt it,
folks.
but
Well, I'm gonna keep my hopes up. It's almost Christmas, and that would be really nice. And yes, I am gluing it to the shiny side, just because the other side I'm going to be decorating, and I don't want what I put on here to fall off. This I'll add enough super glue to where this will
good.
stick.
Aside from that thing on Zebra,
Yeah, that looks really good. Now let it dry, and
I
maybe.
do need to add some white to it though, for the touch up.
Okay.
But I didn't fix it.
Ooh, big old drop of super glue. Mistake brush?
Yeah, this water isn't that good for that, but I have to. I'm not going over the I'm not going over the hat again. I made too many mistakes on this hat. I think I might have put a bit more water than was necessary, but
Too much is better than too little, because you can always just sponge it up, but if you don't put enough, you just end up spreading it around.
Yeah. And I get more on immediately. I do not like working on this hat. Or painting it, I mean.
Really?
I made too many mistakes Or at least I don't like going on the top part of it. I've made 15 mistakes on it.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I made 4.
Slow down. You'll get it.
I'm trying.
Okay, see, there you go. Curved front piece of the sleigh. Now we'll glue this part on here. The back part, I'm mostly going to just build out of craft sticks, but I want to make sure that Santa Claus will fit in here. Even though, for the most part, I'm going to
And that was too late.
pose him outside the sled because I don't really want him drinking and driving with that big old keg at his side.
You know, I'm not a big fan of this brush.
Get the other one then.
I was thinking of using that brush for something else, but I guess I do have water.
You have 2 of the triple zeros there, right?
Yes, and they're both covered in paint.
Well, you got
Okay, never mind, they aren't.
you got to wash
I keep forgetting. Even though I just used it twice. 3 times, actually.
I know one of them is a little split, and you didn't wash this one off either.
It's not that I didn't wash it off, I just used it again. I washed them off.
Now we're going to glue this little gadget to hold the reins onto the front of the sled.
Okay, I think.
That's going to be the hard part, folks, because the super glue is going to get all over my hands. There's no way around it. You know what? I'm going to go get the accelerator.
Huh, maybe use that in a while. I do not want to repeat it last time.
Yeah, just because it'll make it a lot faster. Excuse me, folks.
No, I didn't. And there's more gold. Huh. Haven't painted anything this small.
In a while? What was the last thing you painted?
I can't paint this hat. I just can't paint this hat. Made.
Well, then go on to the bears. If you're getting frustrated,
No,
go.
I didn't even realize that was an option. I need to fix this. And it's not even necessarily that, it's just... I'm slowly narrowing down. I'm slowly making
Progress?
smaller and smaller mistakes. Just both good and bad. Good, it shows progress. Bad, hard to fix. And I need to fix every single detail. I can't leave this piece of white where white couldn't be. But because this brush is splitting, that makes it...
Yeah, use the other one. I said I noticed that one of them was really split bad. I'll fix that with the new...
It seems that they split as soon as they touch paint.
Yeah, they're really
That's
cheap.
just the thing brushes do.
They're really cheap paintbrushes. They work a couple of times really good, but we also have that new cleaning method that...
Did you get a new set of the orange ones? Like the good set of the orange ones?
Yeah, I've got a couple sets of those. Alright, see that's looking pretty good. And the chains will come in through here and then back over into Santa's seat area, which
more water than paint. I'm just gonna leave it there.
okay. Let's move on to the bears for me. He's gonna
Dry brush?
I painted him white, and then I gave him a sort of a pin wash of gray, and I've been dry brushing them slowly to bring back the white, but as you can see, this bear is just pure white, and
It's
really,
not any wash to it yet.
and really looks more like a polar bear. These ones just look like, gray bears, and I'm not sure what, how many layers, layers of dry brushing it's going to take to get them back to white, with just a tiny little hint of gray in there, but I really do want that gray, otherwise they're just going to blend into everything else. So you got 2 here, you've got the Army Painter brush, just take a new napkin, oh no, I'm going to have to get, these ones are all wet here. Here, just Again, with the brown napkins for when you're dry brushing with white, so that you can really see how much white is coming off the paintbrush. And easy with that. You don't need that much. And
won't.
and just wipe it off as much as possible.
Is this the medium or this the
Yeah,
big
that's a medium.
one? Okay.
And just
Looks
remember,
like the big, no.
it's the small and the medium. The large one is over the other one. Clear your area so you can actually not have anything in the way. And remember, go against the grain. You can easily see the grain going like this. So you want to go kind of like diagonal. And if you get too much, don't worry about it. Yeah, I think that's the brush to use. I think I was using a really bad brush. Let me see that real quick.
But at the same time, whenever you paint, it usually is brighter when it's wet.
Yes, good point. And now I'm going to place Santa.
So it might not be this bright. Oh, God.
Too much?
Way too much.
You move it just a little bit. There you go. Okay, so now that looks pretty good. Santa's going to...
Yeah, this part, you can tell. It's going to need a lot more. You're going to need to put wash on it again.
Okay.
Because I just forgot to wipe it off a second time.
Just going to mark a spot here to where I think I should start building the bench.
Today just really isn't my day for painting. I haven't painted in such a long. Well, I haven't painted that long.
What are you using black for? Oh, just worry about that later. Just stick with the white. Where's the cap?
That's not good.
It's okay because it's black.
That's true, but not good regardless.
Yeah, it's okay. It would be worse if it was like yellow or something like that. And we can always just clean the inside of the caps out and clean the tip of the...
But he uses it to recognize the paint he's trying to use.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, you don't. Use the... Like, none of these paints have them, so... It doesn't really matter. These are all new paints. Oh, no. This one. But, maybe I'll see that. Did it before he started. I think.
Just going to clip a couple pieces out to start building the bench. And then I'll go on over to the rest of the sled. I'm finding that these craft sticks are really easy to work with clippers instead of trying to saw them. It's just so much faster. And you may not get a perfect cut, but you can always file that down with an emery board or sandpaper or sanding block.
Okay, does this look better? Wait, no, not yet. Okay, no. I think there's a difference.
Yeah, you can still see the gray, and that's what I wanted. Just be careful with the faces, because I think I did a pretty good job on some of the eyes.
No, they just have white in them.
Yeah, I like that white, sort of as like, all they're seeing is white nearby, because everything's snowy. Gives that kind of like sort of shine.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Wasn't necessarily intentional, but kind of.
It's just, happy accident.
I didn't attempt to stop it.
Like
Bob Ross.
No, I was actually going to reference Armstrong. He He was talking about one of our previous videos, and they're not.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
They're not mistakes. They're happy accidents or something like that.
I remember that.
Which was very nice of him to say because we have a lot of accidents.
Yes.
But nobody's perfect.
No, I don't think. No. I don't think I've heard you admit that in a few years.
Oh, listen to him. He's giving the old man a hard time. Teenagers, right, folks? Did I miss something?
No, you didn't. You're just
Being oblivious?
intentionally oblivious.
Trust me, it's easier this way, folks.
What?
Nothing.
I actually didn't hear you say.
I said it's easier this way, folks.
Oh. I think it stopped.
The music coming from the other room?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not there anymore. Huh, I guess I did need that much. I didn't need that much paint. Huh.
Also, I find using super glue on these craft sticks is also a lot easier than being patient and using wood glue or PVA glue. Just
Because he's impatient.
no, well, it just gets things done faster.
I really can't stop today, can I?
Yeah, you're just on a roll.
But I do think I'm finished. Do you think this one is good as well?
Yeah, go into the next one. Yeah, go ahead. I'll just restring it.
Oh, I did not. Oh, I
Yeah,
guess
it's nothing. Put these guys up front.
I'm going to need a bit more paint then.
And I hope that's straight and level. Use the accelerator on camera, folks, because I don't want you guys smelling it at home.
Huh, that's a possibility.
Yeah, smell-o-vision.
I'm gonna...
Ignore that.
Yeah, well I didn't, but...
You are now.
Oh,
It's coming along.
I actually don't really know what the plan for that one is. So,
It's just this. I'm not going to make anything too fancy. The fancy part will be on the siding if I have time, and in the front, find some little decorations. Maybe a Christmas tree or something. I could just throw some of that on with milliput or just cardboard. Just.
okay.
I'm more worried about getting a bunch of things packed onto the sled, because I don't want it to look totally stereotypical Santa Claus with bags of holding full of Christmas presents, that sort of thing. I want it to look more usable in a D&D game. That way you can disassemble the certain aspects of it and just make it look more like I said, medieval or Dungeons and Dragons fantasy style. Just because you want to get as much use out of everything as possible. We make a lot of one-time use crafts, and not everybody has tons of space that they can display their Christmas decorations all year round, and we definitely fall into that category. There's one more of these, because he's kind of a stocky fellow and gonna need a big bench to sit on. Even though he's going to take it up all by himself. No passengers on this ride.
I think these two are good as well. Yeah. I mean, they're nowhere near as wide as that one, but...
Right.
Do you want... Is this okay, or should I...
That one and that one actually need a little bit more, I think.
Okay.
Look at them. You can definitely see the difference. The first ones are just about done, but
They do need another coat though.
yeah.
But I do also report more.
Yeah.
Need.
Sorry, we're waiting for it. Get on it.
That's enough, right?
Oh, and before we let you guys go for the night, I wanted to let our good friend Grim know that we did, in fact, receive his package, and we are really looking forward to seeing what's inside it. We can't thank you enough for reaching out to us like that. And we have been toying with the idea of stealing one of the tabletop crafters' ideas where they put together a box of craft supplies and junk, basically bits from your bits box that you can't find a use for, but maybe one of our fellow crafters out there can find a use for it. So we're going to start that off sometime next year by just putting together a care package and a list of people that would be interested in participating in this. Normally the Tabletop Crafters Guild really only does things like this with YouTubers that, you know, have, I think it's 10,000 subs or higher, and you know, it's going to be years before we get to that point, and we'd still
I'm
like.
optimistic. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It may be true, I don't know, but if you guys would like to participate in doing something like that, let us know in the comments section, because we'd like to, you know, we've got a lot of bits and junk that, you know, we'd like to see what other people could do with. And so if you guys think that's a good idea and you'd like to be part of it, let us know, and maybe we'll get that started in the new year. Maybe brighten up somebody's day with a care package of you know, craft supplies and junk to, you know, get your hobby going, kickstart it for the year. Yeah, that's much better.
This color reminds me, not anymore but those ones remind me of that one Yeti.
That we did?
No, not that we did. That one that I just have, that really small Yeti miniature, I think it would be classified as. I'll show you it later.
Okay, yeah.
Oh god.
I think I'm thinking of something different, and
I think you're thinking of something different.
yeah,
You know, I feel like I've actually never heard someone say that before.
I mismeasured that one. Oh, go ahead. I'm listening.
With what?
Oh, this piece of craft stick, I just cut it too short.
I think these are finished. Are they?
They look good. We'll see how they look when they're completely dry.
Yeah.
And if
they're all gonna need another coat.
I think so.
Yeah, definitely.
And just like when I make stairs, I do it from the ground up, one little bit at a time. And I think I'm running out of super glue. I hope I didn't just drop it on the table. After I glue this, since I'm running out of super glue, we're going to call it a night. I think you guys can kind of get the gist of where we're going with this. Hopefully that'll be enough to stick this on there. Let's set everything up. Hide the chain.
Wouldn't you?
I don't want to feed it through right now because you're going to have to paint it again. Yeah, we can do that. See if it'll fit through that little guide ring there. Get the other one.
And just lift it up.
Oop. Don't pull it. You just pull it out.
Ah.
It was
Okay.
fine where it was. It needs lots of slack.
Yeah, no, let's not do that at all. I guess
Let's
we
just
could.
load up the sleigh. And
Yeah. Oh, I did not know that. Oh, never mind. Thought those were one piece. But
So there you have it, folks. That's going to be Santa's war sleigh. Let's do that. See how that looks.
I think it looks alright.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah. Don't think he would be standing there, though. He'd be
Yeah,
standing there.
Just wanted to see, how to scale it is. I'm going to build everything up. The back.
I think
with
those
the
bears are too small.
bears.
Yeah.
Too small.
Well, when I think of a bear, I think of a grizzly bear, which are giants.
Yeah.
I mean, polar bears are big too, but I presume that's around the same size.
These are technically called cave bears, but you know what? He's a dwarf and he's Santa Claus, so maybe we shrink to scale.
I
And
don't know.
picture.
Even though I don't really understand why you use a dwarf miniature, not an actual Santa miniature.
Because the Santa miniature is actually really skinny
Oh,
from Reaper. But there you have it, folks. Hope you enjoyed this
okay.
craft.
I mean, you're a heretic that used a bones miniature, despite multiple times complaining about it. And by complaining about it, I mean rightful criticism.
Anything else to add before we say goodnight? He's having a day. And Santa's, is about like this far from putting him on the naughty list, from what I hear. But there you have it, folks. Thanks for sticking around and playing along with us. We'd love to see your take on this craft if you happen to build one before tomorrow night, or by the end of the month. But have a great Christmas. We will actually be back tomorrow night to wish you Merry Christmas one last time for our annual Christmas episode to all our friends and family, and Merry Christmas, folks.
Merry Christmas and goodbye.
Bye.
Good night.